You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
You know, I wish we could find some way to hold people accountable. Free speech is a great idea, but we're in a war.
To make sure the economy doesn't collapse, I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
You're listening to Common Sense Radio with A.J. Davis on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Welcome to the program, folks. You're listening to Common Sense Radio on the Lanterns Radio Network. How have you been, Susan?
I am blessed and highly favored. AJ, how was your week?
It's been a week. It's been a Monday.
It's always a Monday, you know? And what a Monday it is. We're going to watch the left run for cover. That's what's happening this Monday, one day before the State of the Union address, when Trump is going to come in there and he is going to blow the roof off with fabulous economic news. And all that the Democrats have lurking about is the memo. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, the House has the Congress has just voted to release this infamous 4-page memo that probably is quite interesting. We'll see what happens. But McCabe is out. Wow. So he's running for cover. And our old friend, Cecile Richards, after 12 long years of harvesting baby parts and making quite a lot of money for Planned Parenthood, she's decided, just coincidentally, that now is a good time for her to step aside. I wonder why. New sheriff in town?
It could be. Friday reports came out that the leader of the most diabolical, evil organization I have ever researched or come to know will step down sometime this year. No certain date, but I'm sure ahead of her memoir that should be released in April. And maybe because the DOJ investigation into Planned Parenthood on those videos that were released of them selling fecal matter.
Yeah, you know what? That was that David Dallion. He was the guy who broke all of those undercover video. Remember, they posed as an undercover buyer for baby parts, and they released 7 different videos back to back, showing all of these hags, these evil, harpies in Planned Parenthood who were negotiating for, body, brains, livers, all kinds of different things. And then Planned Parenthood tried to shut David Dallion down and tried it for I think in part of it, maybe was in Texas or something. They had tried to get him arrested because he was illegally taping them, et cetera, and now it's all come out, and these are legitimate videos that show how these Planned Parenthood, these abortion factories, are peddling flesh, dead baby flesh, and I hope they get convicted. I really do, because it's pretty sick, because it's against the law to sell baby parts. You can't sell your own kidneys. It's all supposed to be donated, but it doesn't matter if you're willing to commit murder. What's breaking a statute or two, right? What's the big deal?
Not a big deal, I guess. Hey, do you know what? Take a guess of what Cecile's memoir's name is.
Oh, no, I have no idea. What is Cecile Richards, the head of Planned Parenthood, what is her memoir going to be called? I'm dying to know.
Okay, it's called Make Trouble, Standing Up, Speaking Out, and Finding the Courage to Lead. My Life Story. And that's to be released in April.
It's so memorable. That's going to be a real easy, just trips right off the tongue there, and it'll be easy to, say, hey, I want that book that, standing tall and courage, and you won't even be able to remember the title. Oh, man.
No one's going to care.
No, but you know what? She's probably got a book deal from, the liberal, press, establishment people who want to make sure she's got a cushy job. They pre-buy these things. You buy, 100,000 or 50,000 to start making it climb up to the New York Times bestseller list. She has to. She doesn't have to do any work to sell it because all of her cronies will help. Oh, and it's like all she's got to do is pick up the phone, probably talk to Hillary, and it'll be like, Hillary just she just had this quote where she said, bees helping other bees. Did you see that? Where she's trying to be all cool and hip and using the BITC word. Oh yeah, and she was trying to say how, and she was trying to talk all hip and cool and saying how, oh well, yeah, basically, women dogs helping women dogs. She's trying to sound all cool and coarse. All Cecile Richards has to do is call up her old gal pal Hillary. Hillary will, maybe Hillary couldn't sell any books herself. Maybe they could go on a joint nationwide tour hawking Cecile Richards' books and Hillary Clinton's book. Hillary's probably got boxes and boxes of her, What Happened books. That's the only book in history where the question and the answer are on the same cover. What happened, Hillary Clinton? She What Happened and Cecile Richards, they can go together and they can try to gather flies in some, kind of like New Hampshire book sale fair or something to some ultra lefty baby haters, killers, cheesies.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Cecile step down. I used the hashtag Cecile Richards next job is what I tweeted out as soon as I heard it on Friday, and I said member of the DNC and a member of Congress.
You think she'll run for Congress, eh? Why?
Why?
Because she's not happy killing babies. She's got to do more. She's got to make sure we get money to kill babies.
Yes, she lives in New York, and I think she will run for Congress, and she's great at fundraising. I mean, look how much money Planned Parenthood has raked in. And she previously was deputy chief of staff to Nancy Pelosi, so she has the ties in Congress.
Yeah, she does. But as far as fundraising, I mean, if Planned Parenthood were really so good at fundraising, why would they need all the government slush fund? Why? I do have a problem with them existing, but I mean, why don't they just fundraise themselves, and that way, they can compete with the rest of the market, right? They don't, because they get, what is it, 350 million or 350 billion? I mean, I can't keep track of the B's and the M's, but they get millions and millions and millions of dollars in taxpayer money to cut up babies, and drag them out of the womb in little pieces, right? With a, forceps and a suction device. Well, isn't that what an abortion is? You just put a little vacuum in there and, get in there with a little zzz and then suck them out. I mean, it's just sick. It's sick what they do.
It is. And
the baby is alive. I mean, it's just horrific what they do. And we're paying for it against our will. That's Planned Parenthood. They don't fundraise. They shake down the American taxpayer, and they go into Congress every 2-4 years or whatever, and rattle the can and say, "Oh, we need to save women's reproductive health." What kind of a crock is that? It's not reproductive health. It's genocide, is what it is. It's killing unborn women is what it does, especially blacks. They're killing black babies. The disproportionate amounts. I mean, what a racist organization this is. And we're funding it to the tune of millions of dollars. We're funding a racist organization that kills babies based on gender and race. That's what Planned Parenthood is. I mean, anyway, I digress. But anybody wants to look up the founder of Planned Parenthood, they don't like to admit it, but the founder of Planned Parenthood is Margaret Sanger. That's how I like to put her with a German accent. She was a very big fan of the Hitler movement and the eugenics.
Margaret Sanger, she loved Hitler and she wanted to breed better people, and she thought maybe that the blacks and the browns and those Catholics, they should be exterminated. We need birth control, we need abortion. That's what we need. And we should form Planned Parenthood. Jawohl.
Over at the Daily Wire, Michael Knowles has an article from that quotes Planned Parenthood manager turned pro-life activist Abby Johnson points out Richardson's tenure at the abortion giant has culminated in a 51% decrease in breast cancer screenings, a 65% drop in pap smears, a major drop in screenings for sexually transmitted diseases, and a sum total of 0 mammograms. Planned Parenthood may stand ready to serve and fight for our patients for a century more, but Richards' reign caused a 670,640 patient drop as Planned Parenthood shifted its focus away from providing health services entirely into killing babies in the womb.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's where they make their money, because they kill the babies and then they cut up the parts and sell them. That's what they do. I mean, we've got them on tape doing it. So, I wonder now that we're seeing, what's happening, the shakeup that's happening. The rumblings have been going on that there's this memo that's now the House is going to vote to release, and it may shed some light on the swamp and what was really going on in the FBI. Andrew McCabe has now suddenly stepped down. They kind of they're underplaying it like, well, yeah, he was stepping down in March because he was going to be retiring then anyway. But he was out like as of today. Like I think they handed him a big cardboard box and said bye. So do you think that maybe now because there's a new sheriff in town and maybe Trey Gowdy and the boys are finally sneaking up on the way that government has been acting, and places like Planned Parenthood and all of these liberal establishments have been just operating without a check on it? Do you think maybe that's why Cecile Richards has decided, maybe might not now be a good time to retire, to step down, as it were?
Oh, absolutely. The sheriff in town, and he has a tool that he likes to use. It's called Twitter. Sometimes he's very good at the Twitter. Sometimes he's like, please put your phone away. But there's absolutely a new sheriff in town, and he is he's having his law enforcement, investigate these atrocities. I mean, look what he did with Jerusalem. There was a lot of backlash lately. Oh, well, we're moving it. It doesn't matter. No matter what, we're pulling money out of you. I mean, that's why Cecile steps down. I mean, look at the guy at the FBI. And is it Andy or Andrew?
I believe it's Andrew McCabe.
Yeah, people are scared to death because he's riding the tails of justice.
Well, it's really interesting because he was the same guy, if everybody will recall. He was the same guy. His wife got like $700,000 to run in Virginia, for an office in Virginia. It was in his office where we have Lisa Page and this guy named Stroke or Strack or Strock, whatever his name is. They met in his office. The Struck and Page, these two, they were having an affair, and they would text each other back and forth. And for some time, a week or so ago, there was 50,000 texts that were just missing. We couldn't find them, and all of a sudden, they've magically reappeared now because the FBI has gone and back and found them. It was in a very key time period from like May of last year when and before and up to through the election, when they were talking about maybe having a quote-unquote insurance policy to make sure that there's no way Trump gets elected. This was Struck and Page sitting in McCabe's office. They met, all three of them, to discuss the path by which there's no way Trump gets elected. That's who Andrew McCabe is. He was the FBI deputy director, Andrew McCabe. He was the one who presided over the Hillary Clinton investigation. And, remember that all got wrapped up like, she didn't have any intent, and she really didn't do anything wrong, and we're just all going whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Oh, that's the one that she was innocent before there was any investigation.
That's right, remember?
And
this was when they met, remember Bill Clinton and
Loretta
Lynch, they met on the tarmac. And it was only because there was some local reporter that was even found out. But it was a real breach up for the FBI to be meeting like that with her, with her and Bill. And they only talked about their grandkids. Yeah, right.
Well, I thought they were talking about Hillary's yoga schedule.
Yeah, and weddings and stuff like that. Who knows? But he was Andrew McCabe. He was the FBI deputy director. He was part of the FBI team that exonerated Hillary even before finishing their investigation. Remember? And that's when Comey went out and said, well, I'm going to defer to the FBI and I don't see anything wrong. Remember that? Only it would be unreasonable. All of that whole business. That was Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. And now somebody handed him a nice big cardboard box and said, pack your stuff. Get out.
I find it amazing. Yeah, it's incredible. Because over at thehill.com, let me see. Yeah, it was on the 25th. The report came out. The Office of the Inspector General that has been investigating this matter succeeded in using forensic tools to recover those text messages from different FBI devices. 50,000 text messages. I mean, Susan, you have to intentionally try to erase 50,000 text messages. I mean, I have a hard time erasing 100.
A lot of people think that you can just like delete it off your phone or whatever, but apparently you can't. There was there was someone I heard on Fox kind of explaining how everything in your phone leaves a ghost print.
Oh, really?
And that you can always recover it, even if you go back and delete them all, or even if you like wipe out your phone. You go and reset your phone and wipe it out. It still leaves a ghost print. And the FBI can recover them. And that's why, now you'll remember this. Remember this was back in Hillary Day when she was wiping her server. Oh, you mean like with a cloth? No. Like she had bleach bitted some of her data. They had used hammers to break up cell phones. And they had acid washed. This was all, remember they had that private server in the bathroom somewhere. Remember all of that? And she was sending confidential, classified information by this private server because she wanted it to be outside of the FBI, and not the FBI, but the government servers that would keep it safe. That way, no one could be able to find out what she was texting and what she was emailing, rather. So there's that whole server business, and that's a violation of statute. She was handling classified information on a private server that's non-secured, right? And then don't you remember all of these different stories where they destroyed their phones, they tried to acid wash the hard drives and things like that. That's obstruction of justice. And yet she's still walking around. In fact, you know what she was doing at the Grammys? She was poisoning the Grammys. That's what she did. She was invited to read a little section from the book Fire and Fury, which is a book that was written. Oh, who's the name of the guy? I'm trying to.
Wolf.
Walsh. Wolf, not Walsh. Sorry. Yeah, Wolf wrote about President Trump's White House, and it's a kind of a gossipy tell-all, and a lot of it is apparently fake and not grounded in fact. There was a whole kerfuffle about that. The White House came out and said, look, this isn't true. But so everybody's buying this book, of course, on the left. Everybody thinks it's fabulous, and it's called Fire and Fury. And here's Hillary Clinton at the Grammys reading a section out of Fire and Fury, which here's what she read. It's so telling. I mean, of all the sections she could pick out to read an excerpt out of Michael Wolff's bestseller about why Trump eats at McDonald's. This was the section she picked. She read this portion. He had a long time fear of being poisoned. One reason why he liked to eat at McDonald's, nobody knew he was coming, and the food was safely pre-made. That's the the section she meant of poisoning your political opponent. This is the Clintons. I mean, they have dead bodies littering their entire history in politics. What's the body count up to with the Clintons? And here she is reading at the Grammys. She's acting like a celebrity. Here she is, a failed political candidate, absolutely failed, and she's reading at the Grammys out of a book, and she's talking about, poisoning Donald Trump. I mean, talk about tone deaf, and everybody applauding. Oh, it was just wonderful. And she turns over to the announcer guy. She goes, "Oh, does that mean the Grammys are in the bag?" I mean, it's such a phony, stupid thing. And the Grammys got the lowest rating in ever, right? The lowest. Does anybody even care about these Hollywood, narcissists? They're all giving each other awards. Nobody cares, because the stuff that they peddle is just not, it's not mainstream anymore. It's fringe, icky, wacky stuff, and then the actors themselves think they're so important that they have to be, they have to be activists, and they have to get out with their political opinion. Nobody wants to hear your political opinion. You're an actor. Put on your makeup, put on your costume, and pretend to be something different.
All I have to say is read you the title of Hillary's book. What happened? Hillary Clinton. That's all. I mean, that should have been the response. It asks
the question and answers it all at the same time, right?
Oh man. Oh, crazy.
Well, sure. She was the worst. I mean, the thing about Bill Clinton, at least he was this kind of likable Southern good old boy. I mean, yeah, he's a pedophile and he's a sexual pervert. Yeah, but at least back in the day, he had, hi Hillary, I think you're just wonderful, and I really would like to come and talk to you. Hey, how about you and me? We'll smoke a cigar later tonight, maybe in the Oval Office. What do you think? We could have some pizza too. I kind of get the munchies. I mean, at least he had some sort of character about him, right? But Hillary is just this shrew, this awful, just, you kind of wonder, why in the world would anybody tolerate her? So I think she and Cecile Richards ought to go on a book tour. Kind of like Thelma and Louise.
They'll sell all 12 of their books, right, each?
Yep.
I mean, seriously, why was she even at the Grammys? I mean, hashtag F the Grammys. That's all I have to say.
I don't know why she was there, but you see, this is again the left, because the left is politicizing everything. They are politicizing football. Now the NFL, the brand of the NFL is sinking. Its brand is going down. Nobody likes the NFL anymore because of the whole Kaepernick, taking a knee, police brutality. It's like, you know what? If you want to get into my face with politics, that's why I'll go listen to talk radio, or that's why I'll go look on Fox, or I'll go check out Drudge, okay? I don't want to hear it when I'm going to the movies with my kids, or if I want to turn on football or something like that. And these leftists, they are using their media platform. It's not because, you see, their ratings are going down at, the New York Times, their ratings are going down. CNN is fake news. It's at the bottom of the barrel. And their control, their mind control, their thought control is slipping. And so what they're doing, they're getting more and more desperate, and they are now expanding their political reach into what was traditionally just entertainment. Entertainment for them has always been an agenda about social engineering and kind of pushing a sexualized agenda to sell more jeans and sell more makeup and things like that. But now they're really starting to push a political agenda as well. And so you're seeing more and more stars come out and have their political, talking points because they want to be relevant. They're not happy just being cast in a film. That apparently isn't good enough to make millions and millions of dollars. Look, I respect them if they want to do it off on their own time. If they want to say, well, look, this is my position. That's fine. But they're doing it within the context of the Grammys or any other show that we're having to watch all the time, and you can't escape the politics. And people are really tired of it. Look, I don't understand what's wrong with the left. They don't seem to understand that it's escapism. Why people turn on the TV and why people want to listen to music and watch sports is to escape and to have a break from all of people in day-to-day stress and strain. And if you get in my face about politics and jam your leftist position down my throat, I'm going to just turn you off. And that includes the NFL. So nobody wants to even watch it. I mean, especially with
I saw right after the Grammys, I think I saw a report that 10 million fewer viewers this year. I think that's what the report was. 10 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and also the NFL has.
I'll thank Hillary for that. Let's give her. I mean, hey, if it had gone up by 10 million, she'd be out there crowing about it. I added 10 million to the Grammys. I mean, she'd be doing that. So, I'm going to go ahead and give her the blame as well. She probably poisoned the Grammys herself.
And the NFL has a competitor now, the XFL. The Vince McMahon, who heads the WWE, brought back the XFL.
The XFL. Okay.
Extreme Football League.
The what?
Extreme Football League.
Okay, so we're now going to start seeing what exactly? What is extreme football? Is that like, European football where you're like it's really soccer or it's really like rugby? Because rugby is a brutal sport. What's going to be extreme football league? What's that?
That is it's basically an alternative to the NFL, and they had it back in I think the early 90s, and they were famous for people putting their nicknames on the back of the jersey. For instance, they had a guy, "He Hate Me." He's one of the famous ones. So people would run around, "He hate me, he hate me." That would be their phrase. It was catchy. So, I mean, with all the despair with the NFL, maybe that is what's going to happen.
Well, see, they've politicized the NFL, they've politicized football, and that's not what football is about. Football is a sport, and it's supposed to be fun, and millions of, sons and fathers used to sit down and watch. I mean, my dad used to watch with me. We would watch the Dallas Cowboys, and we would pop a big, bucket of popcorn, and we'd sit there on the floor, and we'd watch, Roger Staubach and the Dallas Cowboys. And, the fun part of the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, the entertaining part, that was what the Cowboy cheerleaders were for, right? On the sideline, right? Yeah. And it was fun to watch. And I had so many happy memories of just watching football and trying to learn, the plays and, all the different things. And I don't know it super well, but I had really warm, happy feelings growing up with my dad watching football. And now, I kind of dread it. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, remember a few years ago, Janet Jackson, when she had the costume malfunction at the halftime show, and all of a sudden she's flashing everybody, and maybe it was totally innocent on her part, but ever since then I don't watch the halftime show because I don't know what we're going to be seeing, and I don't need to see it, so we turn it off, and or the other thing that we used to like to watch, the Super Bowl for was for the commercials. That was that was really entertaining and fun, whether it's the beer horses, and I love to watch them, or the puppy dogs, or all the different, crazy car commercials. We like to watch it for that. But now I don't even know if I'm going to watch the NFL, the Super Bowl this year, because I'm just wondering, okay, is there going to be some sort of political statement, like when they're going to take a knee in the end zone, they're going to take a knee and like point to, there's going to be a gesture. It's like, it reminds me about at the Grammys, the whole gesture at the Grammys now. They're now carrying white flowers. You know what white flowers are for? Do you know what they're for, AJ?
No.
The white flower.
Tell me.
They're for the hashtag Me Too. That's what they're for Hollywood and Me Too and all of the victims of abuse in Hollywood. And so I guess because it's got to go with all of the ribbons, and we got the rainbow ribbon, we've got all these different color ribbons, and we've got to have a white rose for the Me Too people. Whatever.
Hashtag Me Too.
That's right. Hashtag Me Too. Whatever. I look. Again, and I've said this before. that whole culture in Hollywood, I've been treated to it. I know what it is. The casting couch culture is real. The problem I have with some of the Me Too activists, like, Gwyneth Paltrow and Meryl Streep, they benefited from it. They're coming out and saying something now after they're very, very famous. I credit Rose McGowan, who stepped up when it was happening to her at the time. Yes, hats off, absolutely. But for all of those who have already gotten successful from it and didn't stand up when it was happening to them at the time, at the very first moment when they were first, approached in the casting couch style, when they didn't step up then, what they're doing is they're perpetuating the entire, the sleazy, smarmy, sexualized Hollywood, instead of standing up and saying, no, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going to speak out. That was when to do it. Instead, they waited for generations of young women to suffer the same type of, sexual assault from Harvey Weinstein and the like. I think, what is the count up to now? I know Breitbart had a nice long list of people who've been accused of this. It's like 180 people or something. I mean, it's rife throughout Hollywood. And we've all known it's been there forever. I mean, that's why there's a whole secret society of people who are conservative in the industry. But we can't say that we are, because we'll be blackballed, and we don't play like that. We're actually honorable folks. But now we've had a white rose. Oh, white purity, rose, virginity, all of that. Hashtag Me Too. It just adds insult to injury. Because as I've said, Hollywood has on purpose shrunk its talent pool and its talent base, because it's driven the whole male-dominated sexual perversion of Hollywood they've preyed on young men as well. They've preyed on young men and young women, and they have intentionally shrunk their pool of talent. So they keep saying that they keep casting the same actors in the same type of things. That's why we keep seeing it over and over and over again. And we just have to get a slightly different plot or different costume. We've got to change Thor's cape into something green. Who knows? Whatever it is. But it's always the same people, because they have intentionally locked out, frozen out, closed out, and all you have are the people who are now inside the casting couch culture. And it's kind of sick. And these are the same people who are putting on the Grammys and are putting on the Oscars and awarding each other and patting each other on the back at how wonderful and how brave they are. Hashtag Me Too White Rose. Really? That's not that brave. I'm sorry. You want to be brave, you stand up and you say, I'm not doing this, and you actually lose a job or something. But go public then. That, like Rose McGowan, that I credit her. And people like her, who you won't know. You're never going to hear from them again, because they're never going to get work again, because the culture's going on. And those are the people, this perversion. They're telling our kids what to watch and what to say in school. They're like these rap artists and crude people they're vampirizing our children. They're taking our children. We're trying to raise them. We're trying to put them in a decent school, and it's hard to find a decent school that isn't just flooded with this stuff. And it comes from social media. That you saw. This came out not too long ago. Twitter is it's all a bunch of fake people. Twitter bots. You can just buy. You can buy followers. You go down and you know where to go on the internet. You can just pay for 100,000 followers. Just bam! All of a sudden, you're famous, right? What is that telling kids? It's telling kids everything is fake. Everything is fake. Everything is fake. Everything is about what you can make other people believe. So everything is fake. You don't want to believe your parents. You just want to be cool. So you can just buy your own fame. Fame is fake. Everything is fake. And that way they're going to question then their own parents. Are your parents telling you something fake too? Is religion fake? Is education fake? Is real education? Literature and math and all of these things. Why should they pay attention to any of that when that isn't held up or even respected? When the media, all it tells you all day long is, we're going to have Snoop Dogg and we're going to talk about, who let the dogs out and all these really gross references to women, and we're going to degrade them. And then we're also going to tell young women, oh, well, it's okay. You can wear anything you want. You can wear shorty, what a friend of mine calls them cheekaboo shorts, where it's like peekaboo, but it's your cheek, really, really high cheekaboo shorts, hanging out there. And that's supposed to be, you're supposed to, as a woman, you're supposed to be able to walk down the street wearing cheekaboo shorts and a bare midriff and the little bouncy tatas going in a little half shirt going like that. And a man is not supposed to wolf whistle, right? Okay. Well, what are you selling then? If you're walking around like that, you're advertising yourself. That's what costuming is. That's what Hollywood is costuming, and they're perpetuating a sexualized version of femininity. It's not real femininity. It's sexualized and marketed to men to look like something put on a platter for a man to drool over. That's what these young girls, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they're learning to dress like. And then they get all offended. Then the feminist crowd will tell them, you should be very offended and you should be able to wear anything you want. And if a man comes on to you, or if he says, hey, baby, anything like that, or if he, God forbid, if he kind of pinches your cheekaboo bottom or anything, then you're being sexually assaulted, right? Okay, well, yeah, I guess you are. But, hey, you know what? You're wearing the costume. Might as well just go ahead and go down to the red light district at 9 p.m. and hang out down there, because you're wearing the same stuff and you've got too much eye makeup on. You are giving all the signals to men, and yet we're gonna hate men. We're gonna make men the problem. We're gonna make normal red-blooded American males, they're the problem. They're the bad guys, because the 20-something men can't keep their eyes off of something that's 18-year-olds and an 18-year-old is hotter than a rocket, right? And they're like, wow, I can't. This is what Hollywood is selling to our girls. And then on top of that, just to bring it all the way back around, you know what? Planned Parenthood gives them birth control and pills and makes them irresponsible for the actions of sexual relations. You don't have to be responsible. You don't have to be in love. You can shack up. You can hook up. You can sell it, baby. You can shake it. Doesn't matter. You just take these pills, or you just use this birth control, and it'll be fine. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay, because the morning after you just come on into the clinic, and we'll just suck it out. And we'll make a profit. And we'll sell it, and we'll get government money to do it, and you'll be good to go. In 48 hours, you'll be back out on the street. We are turning our young women into whores for Planned Parenthood and for the liberal sexualized culture. Instead of elevating women, which is what our culture used to do, instead of elevating them, we are objectifying women, and we are putting them in the gutter, and we're selling it to them as though that they're liberated, and they have of course they have the right. You can dress like a harlot any day of the week. Go ahead. But there are consequences to your actions. Just like if you show up at work late enough, you get fired. If you are supposed to be, well groomed and cleaned, and you're working at McDonald's and you don't wear a hairnet and you come in all greasy and a mess from I don't even know partying last night, your manager's going to talk to you and say, son, you can't come in here like this. Oh, okay. Well, it's the same thing with these young girls. But they're not being given that message. Their moms will say it, and of course they'll just roll their eyes at their mothers and say, you just don't understand, and you are so old anyway, right? Right? Because we're old wrinkled messes, right? Okay. and all that Hollywood is telling these girls is to ignore their parents. Their parents are out of touch, and buy the latest, product, and get the latest mascara and the best acne wash, and buy the cheekaboo shorts with the brand name, Juicy Butt, whatever it is, all of these things, and you're going to be attractive to men in a certain way. And the consequences to men are terrible. We're turning men into leches and voyeurs, and instead of building up men and masculinity and honor, and telling them that they need to work very hard and they should honor women, what we're doing is we're telling them, you don't need to honor women. What is there to honor in this? Well, there's nothing to honor women. Why should men revere women and protect them and think that they are should be put on a pedestal and treated with great respect when they are not acting as though they deserve respect, when they don't even respect their own bodies, when they're walking around selling themselves. Anyway, that's what Hollywood is doing, and that's what. And I'm shocked that what Hillary Clinton. I mean, she was an enabler of a sexual predator, her own husband, and she's there reading at the Grammys. I mean, these people are the ones who foster the entire environment of predation on women. Hashtag Me Too, White Rose. Give me a break.
Susan, tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, right.
Hey, let's go ahead. Let's take a break, and on the other side, we will talk about the State of the Union. How's that sound?
Hey, that'll be fun.
All right, you're listening to Common Sense Radio on the Lanterns Radio Network.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
In every rising of the sun, my purpose was to be thankful to be alive. I was even more thankful for the blessings that came with this life, specifically Virdis, my wife. But that came to an end when Aklavane and her minions violently took her away from me. So my new purpose in this life is to gather all the pieces of the Stone's Heart so I can defeat Aklavane and get back my bride. Join me as I travel to new worlds, making new friends and avoiding old enemies. Read more about my story in the first 2 books of the Stone's Heart series, which are now available on Amazon.com in Kindle format. The first book is The Quest for Savitvarda, and that is followed by The Heart of Pagaila. Stone's Heart is more than a fantasy and a sci-fi quest. It's me fighting to get back my precious wife, despite the overwhelming odds against me. Stone's Heart. Join, explore, and believe.
Welcome back. We are now back. This is Susan Swift and AJ. We are on Common Sense Radio, and it's really fun. We're talking about how the left is running for cover right before the State of the Union show. Hey, but before we get started on what Trump might say at the State of the Union show tomorrow, AJ, where can they find you on social media?
On Twitter, they can find me at Oregon Redskin, and our Twitter page at CS Radio 503. At CS Radio 503. You love that, Susan. You love it.
That's right. That's the easy one to remember. CS Radio 503. CS Radio 503. Yeah.
Where can everybody find you?
We got to work on our Twitter. But you know what? So many handles are fake on Twitter. We've just found out about all of the Twitter bots. I mean, you can buy 100,000 bots for like nothing. So it's just Twitter is fake. Just like CNN is fake news, Twitter is fake social media. We all know that.
Oh my gosh.
But if you want to be one of my like hardly any followers, that's fine. You can find me at, and I am real. So I do actually have my own really Twitter page. It's called at Real Susan Swift. You can find me on Twitter at Real Susan Swift. No, I don't have a lot of followers, but every one of them is real and they're not fake people, so that's okay for me.
Susan, you won't believe it. You won't believe this. This is breaking right now.
What?
On our at CS Radio 503 Twitter page, we all of a sudden have 100,000 followers.
Yeah. They're fake! Fake.
Hold
that
on.
reminds me of the Seinfeld episode. I'm old, but you remember the Seinfeld episode where Elaine, fake. I can't get into it. This is a family show. But, yeah, it's all fake. Fake.
I got to hit enter. I just put in my credit card number. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, now, I'm sorry. Now we have 100,000 followers.
Okay, good. Yeah, you put in what, $15 and we got 100,000 followers. That's super duper.
Yeah.
Fake it. Trump is he's really good at the Twitter cesspool. I think it's really good, but I think the left they probably have maybe 50 people out there who are they're assigned to be like Twitter bot managers, and so that they can. That's why every time I hear. Like, that's what the news media does anymore. They just said, oh, this is blowing up on Twitter. Did you see what so-and-so tweeted on Twitter? It's like, what is this? This isn't news. This is just when you're desperate, you got to go to Twitter and find out something. That is ridiculous, I think.
It absolutely is absurd. So what if you are an everyday American, which you are, what do you want to hear from the president tomorrow on the State of the Union? Because today we have the Honorable Maxine Waters, that is giving the People's State of the Union.
Oh, the people. Now, isn't the People's State of the Union, isn't that tonight? That's like Hollywood. And then that's what they're doing. The Hollywood elite, the glitterati, right? They're doing the People's State of the Union. So they're going to get up there and they're going to shine and shimmer, and they're going to show us Camelot, I guess. I'm not even bothering with them. But that's Hollywood is trying to preempt Donald Trump's State of the Union. They can't handle him because you know what? He doesn't just roll over and play nice like, all of the other GOP and prior presidents. He actually punches back, and he's rude and crude, and he's playing their game, and that's why they can't stand him. So I think it's funny that they've now decided they're going to try to, preempt him by, we're going to have the People's State of the Union. Doesn't that sound very communist? They are having the People's State of the Union. All hail the People's State of the Union. I mean, that's like the People's Republic, right, of China. I mean, don't they see that they're being very communist about it? But anyway, I think it's hysterical that Maxine Waters is good. I think we need to buy popcorn for that. But anyway, I get ahead of myself. So tomorrow, President Donald Trump will finally deliver his first formal State of the Union address. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so that's 6 p.m. on the left coast. So right after everybody's had dinner, and everyone in Hollywood will have indigestion, I guess. So and it'll be before a joint session of Congress, and then I guess afterwards, after he gives his speech, Maxine Waters is going to come blathering on, and that I want to get popcorn. I'm going to be watching for that because Maxine Waters, she has trouble stringing sentences together. I would like to watch either her or Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is really starting to kind of come unglued too. Either one of them is very, very entertaining, so she'll be fun. But I you know what I would like to see? I hope it's not going to be a long. Oh man, you're sounding so bad.
I'm so sorry.
Gosh. Oh, your sound. We have to fix AJ's mic, okay? You know what? Go to Patreon, and if you want AJ to give so please help me out here. Just say somebody give $1 to Patreon and just say for AJ's mic because the sound is killing me. So you go to patreon.com and you can probably what are we on patreon.com? If anybody wants to go to patreon.com, how do they do this?
Patreon.com/lanterns.
/lanterns. Okay, patreon.com/lanterns. AJ needs a new microphone. #AJ needs a new microphone.
No, that's not true. My mic cover. I'm getting a new one tomorrow. I'm at fault. I completely.
Okay, he doesn't need a new. Okay, fine. Go. Just let Patreon at Lanterns because Lanterns works really, really hard, bringing all kinds of really interesting perspective that you are not ever going to find on the left at all anywhere. And they work really hard. They do a great job. Chris is the best over there. So if you want to, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee, for goodness sakes. And it's cheaper than a bucket of popcorn to watch Maxine Waters. You can go to patreon.com/lanterns. And hey, how about $1 for, just to laugh at Maxine Waters would be wonderful. But you know what I wish? I don't want to watch a big, long State of the Union. I mean, I hope he's going to throw us all a lot of red meat. He's going to say a lot of stuff like it's a beautiful thing and it's a great country and make America great again. I think I'm going to have to put up one of my little memes where I put in, how many times it's like shots. Everybody's going to have to take a shot every time he says "Make America Great Again." We'll all be drunk at the end of this thing, But But we have to, how many times is he going to say that? What I want him to say is I want him to get after the Democrats about building the wall. And I am really, really, really concerned that he's willing to swap DACA for the wall. Now, DACA are the dreamers. The dreamers they're now in their 30s. These are illegal immigrants who came over here when they were children. Their parents brought them across the border illegally when they were children, okay? And we can all kind of feel a little bit sorry for them, although I don't. They've had a wonderful upbringing and life here in America, but they're illegal immigrants, okay? And they shouldn't be here in the first place. Well, the Democrats, of course, see them as voters, and they are desperate for it. And I think there's like 3 million or something. Now, when the Simpson-Mazzoli bill passed, this was under Reagan a long time ago, it was like 2.1 or something. It was it was smaller. And that was going to be the first and last time. That was it. That was the big concession. And Reagan said, okay, we'll do this one-time amnesty for all, and then we'll fix the border, right? And, of course, they duped Reagan back then. They said, sure, we'll build the wall. They never did. We're still, here we are. How many years later? I don't even know. I mean, this is crazy. And Trump ran on building the wall. He ran on a tax cut. He got that done. It's a good start. And he's run on the wall. He's got to get the wall. And you know what? I am sick to say that, oh, man, if he's going to swap dreamers, if we're going to have to give amnesty to 3.8 million people, voters, Democrat voters, again, I've talked to you about this, AJ. I have no problem. If you want to make them citizens, but absolutely forbid that they can ever vote, I'm okay with that. Say,
resident.
Fine. You know what?
What you're saying is they can be residents, not citizens.
Right.
Because they're citizens, they can vote.
Residents.
They can be residents.
Right. They could be residents the way that I would do. I mean, then the Democrats would shut up. But I would have no problem if they want to be residents paying taxes, but they could never vote. I would have no problem with that. I'd rather have it where if you're going to come in here illegally and if you want to stay, you cannot vote. You will never be able to citizen to vote. Neither will any of your children be able to be a citizen to vote. But the third generation, your grandchildren, will be able to vote. That's the way I would do it. That's why I'm not ever going to get elected. But we should respect our laws. Everyone must respect our laws. If we don't apply our laws, there's no point in having a law. There's no point in having a border. There's no point unless it's going to matter. So I hope he talks about the wall. I hope he doesn't go with the DACA thing. I hope he trumpets the economy. It's going gangbusters. The tax cuts haven't even really started kicking in yet, and we've already had raises by FedEx was the latest where they're raising everybody's pay. Apple did too. So already, and Apple has brought back millions and millions of dollars from overseas. So it's already working, everything that he said. So I hope he trumpets all of that. What else do you think that he should talk about, AJ?
I don't have any opinion because I think the State of the Union is nothing but a theatrical show. But no matter what, he's going to be there. I hope he has a big old McDonald's Diet Coke right up there on the podium with him. That's what I'm hoping for.
He's going to be very presidential, and he knows how to dress well, and I think he'll come off great. I would like him to also talk about the fake news and how the FBI is a swamp and how that they are finally getting to the bottom of it. I think what they're going to do now that the House has voted to release this memo, this 4-page memo that apparently is so damning that Andrew McCabe had to step aside today. They handed him a box and said, door, exit, bye. This memo the hype is always bigger than the result, but everybody's been talking about, well, it's going to be a big deal. All right. Well, he'll be smart if he just waits. It'll go from Congress. They've all voted to release the bill. I think then Trump is going to have to sign off on it. He should probably wait to do that until like Wednesday or Thursday so that he gets a bump from this speech on the State of the Union. I think it'll be enjoyable. I hope he keeps it kind of short though. I hope he doesn't do a long Obama rant where he's talking about I, me, I, yes, me, my, I. I mean, that was just painful. So I hope he doesn't do that. He talks to the royal we too. That's the
yes. Let's put over under 10 times he says tremendous.
What? Say it again.
Let's do over under that he says tremendous 10 times.
Tremendous. Okay, all right. How many times are you gonna let's put it out? How many times are you gonna say tremendous?
I'll say 8 times. I'll go
8
under.
times. I'm gonna go under. He's gonna say it's a beautiful thing, and he's gonna say great more than that. So he'll be under 8 for tremendous, and he'll say great more than 8 times.
Let's do that. Hey, you're listening to Common Sense Radio on the Lanterns Radio Network. See you next week, Susan.
Yay! Bye, AJ.